on, everyone? Aaron here, and on today's video I wanted to talk a little bit about having a successful open house. So right now I'm actually having an open house, and it's been a little slow the last hour, kind of have a lull in the traffic, so I thought, hey, why not shoot a video and talk about how to hold a successful open house. So you might be a new agent, you might be somebody trying to sell your home as a for sale by owner, and as you can tell by the title of this video, it's a couple tips on how to have a successful open house. So my first thing is that you want to make sure that you have a house in a good location, something that's not buried deep back in a neighborhood. If you do, you want to make sure you put out more signs than you would if your house is on maybe a nice intersection, a four-way intersection, or at the beginning of a neighborhood, something like that. You want to make sure you have enough signs. Now, when I do my open houses, I put anywhere between 10 and 20 signs up just to drive traffic to the open house. And then I have these big flagpole looking open house signs out front that kind of sway in the breeze. So that's the first thing. And you also want to make sure that your home shows well. I was going to say sells well, but that would be nice too. You want to make sure that it shows well. So you want to make sure that the house is decluttered, it's picked up, it's vacuumed, it's clean, it's dusted, and it looks nice and pleasing to the eye. You want to make sure that you also have some really good photos done and maybe a video walkthrough before the open house. So then the next thing you want to do is marketing. So now I'm not going to get really in depth in marketing, but I market all over the place. One of the sites I use for marketing my properties is RealBird, and I will put the link below. And basically it allows me to have some capture pages, it allows me to upload video, it posts it to all the major websites, and then some smaller ones. It gives you all the necessary parts to do a Craigslist posting. So the first thing I do is I put in all my information on the MLS because I'm an agent, and then after that what I do is I take the my listing information and put it into RealBird, and that, along with the MLS, kicks it out everywhere. Now I also manually put stuff on Craigslist, right? The ads look pretty decent, and you can upload, I think, like 24 photos to Craigslist, so that helps a lot too, to get the photos out there. Now after that, I usually do a YouTube video, keep it under 5 minutes, like 2 to 3 minutes I usually try to do. So I'll do one with just still photos, and then I'll do one with video walkthrough. So I'll use my gimbal and stuff like that, and my Fig rig, and I'll do shots with either my Galaxy S8, and I'll do shots with my Nikon digital SLR with a real wide angle lens. I use like 10mm, I think it's like 10 to 24, so I get a nice big wide view of the room. So that's how I start to market it. Now, one other place that I do market it heavily is through Facebook. So I have, the CT House Ninja page, which is like the real estate side. That's kind of what I started with for real estate investing, wholesaling, that type of thing. Then I have Aaron Bowman Realtor page. So that's all like just real estate related stuff. No real personal stuff on there for the most part. It's mostly just the agent page for me. And then I also have my personal page. So I market on all three, and then I'll either boost a post or I'll do an actual Facebook ad. And you can do it as low as like $5 per day. You can set it up for the week you want it to run. And basically what I like to use is the messenger feature in it. I can't talk today, it's weird. The messenger feature, because when people, instead of paying for impressions, which is good, sometimes I run just impression ads, but I want that click. So I want them to have that call to action where they actually click on the ad and it pops up in my messenger. So that's one thing. And I think I'm going to do a video on that because it's a lot to get into, and it's really not that difficult once you do a couple, and you can really get specific in your target, which is nice. So you don't have unqualified buyers coming through your home and that sort of thing. So for right now, if you're just starting off, I would just do a Facebook post, maybe a little bit of what you have for your description of the property, a catchy title for the ad, and then I would just boost that for like $5 or $6, whatever it is, to boost an ad, and then in that zip code, within 10 miles of that zip code, 10-mile radius, something like that. So that's what I would do to start off with. So you got to make sure that the house is in a good location, that it's clean, decluttered, and you have anywhere from 10 to 20 signs out in the area. you want to make sure that you advertise on Craigslist, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. You can do all that in that advertising. And if you get signed up with RealBird, they give you the links and everything. I also use a text message, so you can text 12345 to a certain number, and it will shoot out information on that home, photos, and that type of thing. So that's something else that I use in my advertising, because sometimes people don't want to watch a whole video. They may not want to, they might be in their car or something, and they don't have time to look through stuff. They're just, killing time when somebody runs into a bank, or something like that, or into the grocery store, So I have that text in there, so they can just text the number to a phone number, and it automatically sends them all that stuff. Again, that's also through RealBird. So for the price you pay for RealBird for the year, it has a lot of advantages to it. I might do a video on that also. Thought I was going to sneeze there for a second. So then once you have that all set up, what you want to do is you want to start marketing in the area. So I start that marketing as soon as I get my listing. I start planning out my event. So I look at, okay, I'm going to have it on this Saturday, so I go back 7 days, and that's when I start doing my marketing right away. And then I'll market on Facebook for that whole week leading up to the event. And then on like Instagram, Facebook, I'll do it like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, something like that. So it's in front of people. And then the same thing with Craigslist. I'll do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then I also do it like early in the morning, and then I'll do it like 3 times a day on those days. So I'll do it like early morning, like lunchtime, and then late evening, like 6, 7, somewhere around there. Because that's when it seems to be that people are online the most. And I also do that with my posts on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. So again, morning, noon, and night, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, leading up to the event for Instagram, for Craigslist, and then I run my Facebook, either boosted post or the ad, the whole week up to the listing, or I'm sorry, up into the open house. So once that's done, then what? Depending on how time permits for me, sometimes I'll go in the neighborhood and I will invite neighbors to the open house. I'll hand out flyers, and that way there I don't run into any issues like, hey, you're soliciting or anything like that. So what I'll do is I'll take my flyers that I print up online, I'll print one out, I'll run down to Staples, I'll photocopy about 100 of them, and I'll just walk through the neighborhood and say, hey, on Saturday we're having an open house. Be great if you came by. If you do, make sure you enter a $100 gift card raffle. I'll get to that in a second. So I go through and do that, and then when you're handing that stuff out, if you're an agent, not so much for the for sale by owner, but if you're the agent, you can be like, hey, have you ever thought about selling your home or anything like that, or moving out of the area? You can kind of work it in there, like, hey, I'm a professional. I'm the guy to come to in this neighborhood. So if you're looking to sell, let's talk about it. It all depends on how the person is when they answer the door, if I do anything like that. So then after that, now those all get handed out. I should have said this before. Those all get handed out a couple days beforehand, so people know, like, maybe that Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'll go out. And again, I have a crazy lifestyle with all the kids and stuff like that, so, and the wife. So if I don't have time to do that, that's one thing I might skip. But for the most part, I try to get that stuff out there too, to all the neighbors, because somebody might have a friend that, hey, listen, it'd be great if you moved to the neighborhood. I now got a house for sale. Why don't you come down and check out the open house? So then the morning of the open house, I try to get out about a half hour early, maybe an hour. I leave the house. Try to get out an hour early, and put up signs in the area. I hit all your major intersections leading up into the property, and basically I have the yellow corrugated signs that say, open house, with an arrow pointing down the road that you need to turn down to, and it says on it, $100 gift card raffle. Now what I use that for is to get people when they come in to sign in, because most people that come in to an open house aren't represented by an agent usually, so the first agent they meet is usually the one they go with. So I try to capitalize on that aspect of prospecting when people come into an open house. And then also, people come in like, hey, $100 gift card raffle, sure, I'll come by. It kind of gives them an incentive to come in, and check out the house, even if they may not really be 100% interested in it. And so that's what I also tell the neighbors when I'm handing out the flyers. And then One other side note to that is sometimes with the neighbors, I might say, hey, listen, if you can show up a half hour early, I'm having just an open, a private showing for everybody in the neighborhood. So that kind of gives them an idea like, hey, this guy, kind of let me in on a little secret here. This is awesome. I might come a little early. So then you kind of build up that flow of people right before the open house starts. So if you do have anybody show up right at, like, say 10 o'clock in the morning, you got people there at 9:30 coming through, or say you're doing it at 11 and people there at 10:30, people start showing up at 11, then they're gonna be like, oh wow, look at all these people here early. So that's kind of like a little tip for you, if you can call it that. And then pretty much you just sit back and wait for the people to come in. Usually the day of the open house, I'll also throw up a video on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and then Instagram, or Snapchat, something like that, just to get it out there, because we all know that those videos rank higher in the showings for YouTube and Facebook. So those are pretty much my tips for you. Hopefully it helps out and hopefully it works. So again, it's the property's in a good location. It's easy to get to. It shows well. It's clean, decluttered. You want to advertise online, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. You want to make sure you also have stuff up on Craigslist, and you post to that Monday, Wednesday, Friday if you're having your open house on a Saturday, or that sort of thing. And you want to make sure that you do it 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night on those days. So you want to be very proactive. You want to be very aggressive when it comes to your marketing for an open house. You don't want to just set it and forget it type thing. And then once you're with that, you want to hand out flyers in the neighborhood, put up 10 to 20 signs the day of the open house, and offer that $100 gift card raffle, and that usually pays off. Just make sure that you have a way to collect everybody's information. I use an app on the kid's iPad, and it seems to work so far. It gives me a way to collect everything, and that way there I can stay in touch and follow up. So guys, I hope that helps you with your open houses. Sorry, you for sale by owners, I really didn't have that many tips. Hopefully you can use some of this stuff but please comment, like, and subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching. Later.